Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to today's Finance 360-degree session, which is quite a special session that I am conducting for you. So till now I have never conducted such a session, but as I was getting many queries, so I thought to take this session, and in this session we will discuss actually 3 questions. Okay, first of all, how much coverage is provided in Finance 360-degree session? So this is a very common question that I get, that how much coverage is it provided in the Finance 360 session. So I will show you the PYQs and I will show you the coverage that we have provided in the Finance 360-degree session. Okay. The second question is, can we consider Finance 360 as a one-stop solution? So that also I will discuss, that can we consider Finance 360 as a one-stop solution. The third question that I get is, can we solely rely on Finance 360-degree series? So that we also are going to discuss, can you solely rely on the Finance 360-degree series? Okay, so all these questions we are going to discuss today. I will show you the PYQ, so you will get the idea that what kind of questions come from this series and how much coverage is provided in this series. So good morning everyone, good morning and welcome all of you. Thank you for coming to the session first of all, and good morning to all of you. Let's start with today's session. All these questions that you were asking from me in the comment section, in the mails, I will try to answer all these questions of yours in a satisfactory manner. So first of all, let's see that how much coverage is provided in the Finance 360-degree session, because it is very important for you to get the right coverage. Okay, so we will discuss the previous year questions with the coverage that is provided in the Finance 360-degree series for the phase 1. So I have been teaching in Finance Current Affairs, I have been teaching Finance 360 series for 3 years. Before it was known as Finance Current Affair, now it is known as Finance 360. So I have been teaching for past 3 years. So we will see that in the PYQs of 2024, in the RBI Grade B phase 1, how many questions came from the Finance 360-degree series? Okay, how much coverage was provided to you? So first of all, here you can see the question was on the Financial Inclusion Index of March 2024, and the question was regarding that which has the maximum, like the Financial Inclusion Index has increased with the maximum from which, like which indicator has increased by maximum. So that was usage. So here you can see directly, see that usage dimension was highlighted, that improvement has come in the Financial Inclusion Index in March 2024, and that is contributed maximum by the usage dimension. Okay. Second question, another question was regarding your RBI annual report. From that RBI annual report, there was a question that the foreign exchange reserves are now sufficient to cover over how many months? So it was 11.4 months. So over 11 months coverage was provided by the foreign exchange reserves as per the RBI annual report. So this was also covered. Next was regarding your small finance banks voluntary transition. So I had taken a session just before the examination regarding the voluntary transition and voluntary conversion of the small finance bank to the universal bank, so they can transition into the universal bank. So how, what are the criteria for them to follow? So this is a very important topic, and I hope you understand that these kind of previous year questions come. Okay, these are the kind of previous year questions that come from Financial Inclusion Index, from the RBI annual report, as well as whenever the transition or whenever the norms are being brought by the RBI. So such question come, and here you can directly see that I have star marked that, okay, minimum period of 5 years and 1000 crores of the minimum net worth. So this was the criteria for the small finance bank for the transitioning. So 1000 crores and 5 years, this was your answer. Okay. Another question was directly from your digital payment index, that which of the following has the highest percentage in the digital payment index. So we have discussed it, that the payment performance has the highest percentage or highest weightage in the digital payment index. The payment performance has the highest weightage in the digital payment index. Then another question was regarding your finance current affairs. So these questions were from your RBI notifications, RBI press releases. So in the Finance 360-degree series, as you know that we cover finance, the RBI notifications, we cover the RBI press releases. So these are the focus areas, as well as we cover the finance current affairs also. Okay. So from RBI notification, RBI press releases, you have seen the question. From finance current affairs, there was a question regarding the basic service demat account. So it was said that the limit has been increased from 2 lakh to 10 lakh. So this was discussed by me, that 10 lakh is the new limit. Okay, and that was a direct question. Another question was regarding your, I have told you that the schemes are very important. So from the internal ombudsman scheme, even though it was not in news, still a question has come from the internal ombudsman scheme in the phase 1 of the RBI Grade B examination, and here you can see the 5,000 was the criteria for the NBFCs. So this was a direct question that came in your RBI Grade B phase 1, that internal ombudsman, the criteria was asked, okay, and the schemes have been covered in the previous year also in the sessions, and this year also I am covering the schemes even though they are in news or not in news, but schemes you have to cover very thoroughly if they are the schemes of the RBI, because direct questions come from the RBI schemes, okay. Next question came on the bulk deposit. Bulk deposit was extensively covered in the sessions, okay. So you can see that the bulk deposit was covered, that okay, for the local area banks the bulk deposit minimum limit is 1 crore, okay, and that question came. Another question, it was not a direct question, it was more analytical question, but the analytical parts are also covered in the Finance 360 degree series. So here you can see that I have told you that from May 2022 to Feb 2023 there is the increase from 4% of the repo rate to 6.50% of the repo rate, that is by 2.5%, that is by 250 basis point, that is by 250 basis points. So from the analytical part a question came. Next question was regarding your very easy direct question, that the FAR for the foreign accessible route, which tenure of the securities are getting removed from the fully accessible route. So that was 14-year and 30-year, and again that question was directly seen. Another question was that UPI transaction limit has been increased from 1 lakh to 5 lakh, that question came. Another question, so this was not expected, but I have told you the dark patterns that was mentioned in the report on currency and finance, and we have discussed the dark patterns in the report on currency and finance, and a question came from the dark patterns, okay. So such kind of questions, you can see that such kind of questions have come from the sessions directly. So the sessions, I will say that the sessions are important from you, that you can see that so many of the questions you would have been able to answer directly from the sessions. If you are listening to the sessions carefully, if you are following the sessions carefully, you will be able to answer these questions. And after every 5 sessions, or at least in the monthly basis, we cover the revision session. We do the revision session also, so that if there is any data point that is important, so that we discuss in the revision session also, okay. So this is the idea. Now coming to the next question, okay. So here you can see that the question came from the SDF, WMA and overdraft facility. So this was also discussed. This was discussed in the marathon session, because this topic was in news quite near to the examination. So in the marathon session we discussed this directly, okay. So another was your, a second, there's some problem, okay. So another question was regarding your housing finance corporation, or the housing finance, the NBFCs, housing finance companies. So that question was also directly covered in the marathon session. This was a topic that came quite near to the examination. So here you can see that the Reserve Bank of India topics, or the notification, the press releases, they are covered in the sessions. They are also getting covered in the revision session or the marathon sessions. So the Finance 360 degree series or the marathon sessions that we bring, they are providing you good coverage, that you can see that so many of the questions were directly covered. So RBI tightened norms for the housing finance company, and a direct question came, and that question was covered through the session, through the marathon session, okay. Next, fintech, SRO fintech, the minimum net worth. The question was regarding the applicant should have a minimum net worth, and that was directly covered through the question in the marathon also. In the marathon we had discussed this completely. The SROs were quite in news. Now this was regarding phase 1 in the RBI Grade B examination. I couldn't bring all the questions because there were so many of the questions for which I have brought the snippets. You can see that so many of the questions came directly from the Finance 360 degree session. Now I am not saying that 100% was covered. No one can claim this, and I don't think that it is correct to claim 100% of the coverage, because there are always a few questions, 1 or 2 questions that come out of the box, that is different questions that is asked by the RBI. So there is never the target. In the phase 1, your target is never 80 out of 80. This is never the target. The target is to do good so that you are able to clear the overall cutoff, not also the like you have to clear the cutoff in GA, but the focus should be on the overall cutoff. So I think for the overall cutoff, the Finance 360 is covering enough of the questions. Okay, so full coverage, no one can promise you the full coverage, but I am trying my best and my team is also trying the best to bring the maximum of the questions that come in the examination, so that like to do the sessions in such a way that we are able to cover massive number of questions in the classes itself. Till now, any confusion, any question you have? Okay, and the audio is not clear. The audio is not clear. Can anyone confirm that audio is clear or not? Okay, in phase 1 there were questions. In phase 1, majority of the questions were from 5 to 6 months before the examination. There was one question that was from the internal ombudsman scheme. There was one question that was from the internal ombudsman scheme that was from like a little bit before, that was 9 months before the examination. But internal ombudsman scheme or the schemes of the RBI, it doesn't matter that when they were released or in which month they were in news. Schemes are always very important. Okay, so like the retail direct scheme in 2023, there was a question on retail direct scheme, and this was a descriptive question in phase 2. You can understand. So you can understand that the schemes of the RBI are always very important. It should never be discussed that we have to study schemes or can we leave the schemes of RBI. You always have to cover the schemes of RBI. That is the basic idea. Okay, so internal ombudsman scheme question was from 9 months before the examination, but that was the only question I can say that was from 9 months before. Otherwise, most of the questions were from 5 to 6 months before the examination. This is regarding RBI notification, RBI press releases and finance current affair that I teach. Okay. Next is now coming to your phase 2. Now, how much coverage the Finance 360 degree provided in the phase 2? Now, as you know that in phase 2, the finance and management part is of 100 marks. Out of which the objective is 50 marks and descriptive is 50 marks. So in the descriptive, there was no question from the finance current affair or from the notifications, press releases we can say. So there was no question from the press releases or the notification of the RBI. In the previous year, there was like in 2023, there was the question on ONDC that came from the finance current affair, and the question was on the pre-sanctioned credit line that came from the notification. So both these questions were covered in the Finance 360 degree sessions. Okay, the ONDC was covered in your Finance 360 degree session. So this was a descriptive question in 2023, and the pre-sanctioned credit line was covered. This was a notification, so this was also covered in Finance 360 degree session. So this was the descriptive questions in 2023 from current affairs from the Finance 360. Okay, this time there was no direct question that came from the finance current affairs or from the RBI notifications and press releases. This time management and finance questions were static based. Okay, in descriptive. Now coming to objective part. So 50 marks are for both your finance and management. So approximately 25 marks are allotted for management objective and 25 marks are allotted for finance objective. Now in the finance objective, there are the questions from the finance current affairs. So finance current affairs questions are there. So here you can see in phase 2 there was a question regarding the maximum subscription amount for the retail investors. So recently, just before the examination, 1 or 2 months before the examination of the phase 2, there was the news article that was released by the SEBI. So there was a SEBI circular. Securities and Exchange Board of India has said that the UPI, there will be UPI mandate for the retail investors. Retail investors applying for the public issues of debt securities, they can apply through the intermediaries through the UPI, and through the UPI the blocking of the funds will happen, and up to 5 lakh rupees. And on this like you can see that I have taught this in marathon session, and from this article there were 4 questions. You can see the limit was asked, 5 lakh was the limit. 5 lakh was the limit, as well as there was the system that was like through UPI. So this was also a question. So there was the question that who has released this article, because whenever we are talking about UPI, it might be attached with the RBI, but not RBI. SEBI released the article, or SEBI released this circular because it was regarding the public issue of debt securities. So it was SEBI. Okay. So here it is written also that SEBI introduced the new guidelines, as well as from when these guidelines will be applicable. So this was also discussed, that from November 1, 2024. So you can understand that directly 4 questions you could have been able to answer through Finance 360-degree sessions or through the marathon sessions. As well as there was a question in the phase 2 regarding the minimum limit for the SME REIT. So here you can see that the limit was also, or the value was also discussed here in the question also, in the marathon question also, in the answer also. Then there was a question that WMA limit for Government of India for October 2024, March 2025 is decided at. It was also discussed in the session itself that the limit for the coming half year of the financial year is decided. So that was 50,000 crore rupees. So that was also discussed, as well as there was the discussion on the UPI circle also. So that was from there also a question came. So in the, like here you can see 4 questions, 5, 6, 7. 7 questions were directly covered in your marathon sessions in the Finance 360-degree sessions. So in phase 2 also, 7 questions means around 10 to 12 marks that were directly covered from your Finance 360-degree sessions or from your marathon sessions. So we are trying to bring as much coverage, or we are doing the topics in detail, so that you are provided with the best material and the in-depth material. So if you are questioning about the coverage, so do not worry about the coverage. Whatever topics I am bringing, I am trying to cover that topic from the in-depth manner, so that if a question comes, you are able to do the question. And the most important timeline is 5 to 6 months for the RBI notifications, RBI press releases and finance current affairs. In the finance current affairs, in the RBI notification, RBI press releases, first you need to have the clarity. If you need to have the clarity, then only you will be able to read the complicated questions, and then only you will be able to answer. And this is what I am trying to cover in the Finance 360-degree sessions. And the questions also, you have seen that from the sessions the question like are covered. Now, is Finance 360 one-stop solution? So I will say that nothing is a one-stop solution. If the Finance 360 sessions are one-stop solution, so everyone will study the same thing and will get the same marks. So how are you in a competition, right? Yes. So I will say that Finance 360 is very good for your coverage, but I will not say that it is a one-stop solution, because it is a competitive exam that is ever changing and that is ever upgrading itself. So I will suggest you that do read some additional sources, because that will help you to grasp more and more ideas and to get more and more information about the topics. So first of all, you can understand that for covering the finance current affairs, for covering the RBI notification, RBI press releases, Finance 360 is happening 3 times in a week, that is limited sessions are happening. So we are trying to cover the most difficult and the most typical and the most important topics. I am bringing the most difficult and most important topics in Finance 360-degree sessions, and that's why the coverage ratio is very high from the Finance 360-degree sessions, because the most important and the most difficult ones are getting covered. But there are some small topics also that also you have to cover. For that, there are the additional sources. So that is first of all RBI website. In the RBI website, you do not have to cover all of this. At least cover notifications and press releases. So at the end of the month, let's say December has ended. So now you can go back to the December month, to the notifications and press releases. You will see that maximum of the notifications and press releases are covered in the Finance 360. So there are small topics that are left that you can just read once. Okay. So this is the idea that most of the coverage is done in the Finance 360. That's why we are able to cover the, that's why the PYQs or the last year questions were covered in the Finance 360, because maximum coverage is already done in Finance 360. But for your safety or for your confirmation, you can go to the website once the month has ended. You can go to the website and check that which notifications or press releases are left, and if there is any topic that is left, you can also comment down below that ma'am kindly take this also. Now for the finance current affairs, so this was regarding RBI notification, RBI press releases. which you have to cover for 5 to 6 months. Okay. Now, business standard and economic times, I can say that even if you are covering for, like if you have less time, even if you are covering, minimum coverage should be of 4 months and maximum coverage 5 to 6 months. Not maximum, you can go up to 9 months also, 12 months also, but 5 to 6 months of coverage is good, but 4 months has to be done. Okay. For that, you can follow the business standard for finance current affairs, and as a supplementary source, you can read the economic times also. Okay. IRDI annual report, the team is preparing it, and I will be bringing it soon in the coming week. Okay. So the editorials of, like, you can cover the topics or the news from business standard and supplementary sources economic times, as well as the editorials are very important for enhancing your knowledge and for giving you a kind of boost, to giving you opinions. Like there is something that is going on, digital transformation is going on. Now, how to make opinions on that particular decision taken by the RBI or the government on the digital transformation, how to form your opinions. So reading the editorials will provide you the understanding that how to articulate the answers, how to write the answers, and how to read, like how to form your opinions. You will also form your opinions, you will be also able to put some good points. So editorials are very important. I will not say that read the editorials every day, but at least twice a week, make it a habit to read the editorials twice a week or thrice a week. Okay. So this is the idea. RBI master directions. Now coming to RBI master directions, they are mentioned in notification itself. So master directions are only important if they are the new master directions or if there is any change that has happened. So if you have ever visited RBI website, so see master directions, if they are new master directions or if there is any change that is brought in the master direction, they are mentioned in the notification itself. They are mentioned in the notification itself. Okay. So there are 2 new master directions that have come. If I go to RBI website, so if I go to RBI website, if you go to the notification section, directly you will be able to see that master direction, the new master directions that are brought. So these are the new master directions that have been brought, and they are directly mentioned in the notification section itself. So if a new master direction is coming or if any change is coming in the master direction, that will be mentioned in the notification. That's why the notification and press releases sections are important. Now in press release, the day-to-day working of the RBI is also told. So that is not important. If the RBI is buying the treasury bills, selling the treasury bills, so this is just the daily functioning of the RBI. So rather than that, focus on what is new that the RBI is bringing. So RBI, let's say, has done something new, like the global hackathon results have been released, or the Reserve Bank of India has taken some important or big decision that is important. Otherwise, day-to-day functioning of RBI, this you do not have to focus on, just any important decisions taken by RBI. Okay. So in the December month, there were the reports that were released. Okay. So these reports were also mentioned here only. These reports were also mentioned here only. So the report of the RBI, that was the financial stability report, you can understand that it was mentioned here. So the reports that are released in the press releases or the notification, so these reports become important. So here are the highlights and here is the complete report. So this is the idea that if you are following the press release or the notification of the RBI, your master direction or anything that is coming, that will also get covered. Okay. Any other confusion anyone has? See, finance current affairs consist of SEBI news also. The finance current affairs consist of SEBI news. So at least do the RBI notification, RBI press releases of at least 5 to 6 months. This is minimum, and RBI schemes are must. That we have already discussed in the sessions. Okay. Now finance current affairs that include the SEBI news, that include the news of IRDI, that include the news of the IFSCA. So these news are most important for the 4 months, near to the examination, and 5 to 6 months also you can cover. So this is also like maximum question comes from the 4 months, then dated back to 5 to 6 months also. If you want to go back, you can go back, but there are very less question from 9 months or 12 months. Okay? And this much also you will not be able to remember. So focus on 4 months first, then go back to the 5-6 months. Then if you have time, you can go back also. Master direction will be covered in sessions first of all, and first, like after going through the whole session, see, I do not try to, like, I don't know about other faculties, but what happens that if if a master action is coming, it's not like that I will only provide you only 3 points and that is enough, because I understood, like, because those 3 points I got from the newspaper, so I will provide you that. No, I will go through the whole of the master direction, so it takes time also, because I have to go through the 27 pages or 40 pages that is provided by RBI. So I will go through the whole master action, and whatever is important I will bring for you. Okay. Yes, so I will bring that master action for you. Do not worry about it. I will bring the IRDI annual report. The team is working on that. Master action, I have started reading it. So I will bring the important point. Okay? For FSR, Swapnil, you have the course. I will suggest you that do read the summary provided by a course that you have. So any course you have, our course or any other institution's course if you have. So after seeing the session, because in the session I have provided you the understanding. But to get the complete coverage also, like in the session, I am trying to bring whatever I think is important. Okay. So after going through the session, go through the PDF provided by the institution. If the institution is providing you a PDF, so that is also important. Now you have given the money to the institution, so they are providing you the best quality, right? So do read the PDF. And I have told you that Finance 360, it is a good thing to cover, but it is not a one-stop solution. Nothing in your RBI Grade B examination, I will not say that anything is a one-stop solution. You have to go through different things, like if you are going through the sessions, after that you have to go through the RBI NewsTap PDF that is provided in the EduTap course, or if you have some other course, you have to go through the PDF of that organization. Or if you do not have any course, you can go to the RBI website. It's easy to see that what is covered, what is not covered. Okay, so after seeing the session, go through the PDF provided in the course, or go through the newspaper or the RBI website. Okay, so most of the things will be covered. Yes, Manish, that will be enough. So if you are covering the sessions and you are covering the documents provided by your respective organization, that is good. If you do not have any course, then at least go to the RBI website once a month is fine. If you are going to the RBI website once a month, you will see that most of the things are covered. If there is anything extra, if you are able to understand, good. If you are not able to understand, you can comment down below that, ma'am, is it important or should we cover it? Okay, as well as go through the Economic Times and Economic Times or Business Standard. Go through it daily so that you have the understanding that what news are coming, and they are good for your understanding also, because you don't have any PDF. So at least go through Economic Times and Business Standard, or one of these at least once a day or once a week, I can say. Okay. Any other confusion anyone has? See, in the finance this time, there was no question from current affairs. There was one question from editorial that was regarding the value investing and growth investing. So that was from the editorials. Otherwise, this time there was no question from current affairs in finance and management section. In the previous year, in 2023, there was question from ONDC, question from pre-sanctioned credit line. So ONDC and pre-sanctioned credit line both were covered in Finance 360, as well as they were quite discussed at that time. They were the hot topics at that time. Okay. So I will suggest you that do see the sessions, and after seeing the sessions, do go through the PDFs of your respective organization, because if they have provided the PDF, I'm a sole person. But when the PDFs are being prepared, there are 10-15 people that are working on the PDFs. So you can understand that those 10-15 people also must have some understanding of the examination. That's why they are bringing the PDFs out, and that's why they are preparing the PDFs. So it is better to read the PDFs also, so that you are getting a second perspective also, or you are getting the second knowledge also. Okay, so sessions, I'm preparing the PPT, I'm preparing the session myself, so I'm the sole person. I might miss something, so that's why the PDFs are very important. If an organization is providing you a PDF, do read it. If you do not have a course, do check yourself that what is covered, what is not. Yes, this is called value addition. You have to do value addition by yourself. Any other question anyone has? SEBI notifications are not covered. Like SEBI notifications, you do not have to read the SEBI notifications, SEBI circulars. You have to read SEBI news. If a news is coming, that see, if the SEBI news is coming, or if IRDI news is coming, if IFSC news is coming, that is important from finance current affair point of view. As you can see, so this topic was SEBI news. This was a SEBI news article that okay, SEBI has decided to bring UPI for the blocking of the funds. So this was a SEBI news, but you can understand this was quite a news at that time, as well as it is connected with UPI, and this is affecting all the retail investors. So such kind of news are important. You do not, for the RBI Grade B examination, you do not have to go to SEBI website and read all the SEBI circulars, not required. But if a news is coming and that topic is going on in the news, so you have to cover it. And secondly, if the news is important from the economy perspective, so it becomes important. No, Utkarsh, it is not required for RBI Grade B examination, finance, management, ESI. Okay, so this is the idea. Any other confusion anyone has? Avnish, is it clear that SEBI notification per se, you do not have to go to the SEBI website, but you have to read the SEBI news articles, because four questions came from SEBI news article. So fine, and this was in phase 2. This was in phase 2. So you cannot leave it, okay? But SEBI news that are in newspapers, that is quite important from the economy perspective, okay? Any other confusion anyone has? So see, my perspective of taking this session, my reason of taking this session was to show you that, okay, you are getting the coverage, and if a question comes, like the majority of the questions are covered through these sessions. But again, this is not a one-stop solution. You cannot rely on only one thing and then think of clearing the examination. Nothing is going to be very easy in this competitive exam. It is competitive. Thousands of people are preparing for this exam. If you want to become the officer, if you want to sit in the RBI Grade B if you want to clear the RBI Grade B, and if you want to sit in RBI, you have to be special. And for being that special person, you have to do the extra, you have to take that extra effort. So seeing the sessions, that's it. Do you really think that that will be enough? Okay, do some extra effort, read the editorials, go through. If you do not have a course, I will say go through the newspaper at least once a week or once a day. RBI website at least once every 15 days or once a month, okay? So be that special person, and for that take that extra effort also. So I think now all the queries that were coming to me in the comment section and in my mailbox, that ma'am, can we only follow the session and everything will be done? I will say no, because even if you are getting the coverage of objective questions, for descriptive you have to have that mindset, you have to have that extra opinionated perspective, okay? So with the sessions, do go through the extra material. The sessions are good, I will say, because we are putting a lot of effort. So sessions are good for you. I have been like teaching for past 3 years the RBI notification, RBI press releases. So I have got a hand over these topics. But at the same time, the extra material also you have to follow. Okay, that there is no two things about that. Perspective 360 has been continued by Jaskaran sir. He is taking the sessions every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 5 PM. Okay. Okay, so Apnil, I will ask the team that why it happened. Okay, I will because the answer are checked by the backend team now, so I will ask them. Okay. Perspective 360 has also started. Any other question related to Finance 360? And Perspective 360 has started. Okay, Jaskaran sir was ill, because of that he was not able to take the sessions, but he has started the sessions again, and you can see the Perspective 360 Monday, Wednesday and Friday 5 PM. Okay, so this is it for today. Then I think all the queries are catered to, and thank you everyone. Thank you for joining the session. We will meet Tuesday now in the next session, and I will try to bring the master direction in the next session. Okay, so let's meet in the next session. Thank you everyone. Thank you.